Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Noble Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Brew Brewing Company out of Braddock, Pennsylvania. I actually have it in one of their 750s again. This one is BG Steam. You can see right there, it just says Lager Ale Hybrid. So basically, what the style that probably more people are familiar with. Well, I guess you might know what steam beer is, but generally it's a California common. Anchor Steam is probably like the most popular one, but it's kind of a blend of a Pilsner and a blonde ale because of the different yeast it's used. But this is the first time these guys have tried this. I've heard it's really good, so I'm pretty excited. I don't know if you saw on the tag I showed, but it's 5.0 ABV, so pretty standard ABV session beer, maybe 5 and below, consider session. So I'm going to crack this open and see what we got. Oh, actually got a little hiss, which is rare for these guys. And I will say I don't drink many California commons, so I wasn't exactly aware what a traditional glassware would be for that. So I kind of figured I would just use a Pilsner glass and go with that, but who knows. It'll work. It really doesn't matter that much what any glass or what anything is in any glass. So. I apologize if you hear a little buzzing in the background. It's my dishwasher. I think there's something a little awry with it. It's being exceptionally noisy today. But anyways, as you can see, it pours a slightly hazy color. I would say cloudy, not even hazy, but it's not completely clear, with about a finger's worth of really nice fluffy white head. So I'm getting a little bit of noble and earthy hops, a little bit of like a crackery, bready, malty sweetness. I'd say that's mainly it, but it smells very clean. To be honest, it's been a long time since I've had a California common or steam beer, and I wasn't even really sure what to expect from this, but I knew, given that it was made by these guys, that it would at least be a really clean and tasty beer, which it definitely is. It for sure has a much smaller hop profile than the BG Pilsner had that I just reviewed. Really with this, there's only just enough hops to throw in a little bit of bitterness to balance out the malt character. There's really not much hop flavor at all, other than, like I said, it's slightly earthy. There's actually more in the aroma than in the taste. The flavor is a little bit of earthy hop. There's a lot of like hay character and a little bit of like sweetbread flavors. I would say I know they were doing that one beer called Carnegie Premium, which was supposed to be, it was their blonde ale that was supposed to be their version of if someone comes in and says I like to drink Bud Light, what should I get? But that one, they changed it a couple times, and it ended up being like kind of hoppy, and I like the beer, but I just didn't think it really fit well for what they seem to be trying to do to appease that type of customer. I would say this is closer to anything that they've done to be more of like a traditional American lager. It's definitely more full in body and in flavor, but it does have that pretty general like malty sweetness, and the hops are like very minimal. It's really weird. The more I drink it and I get my nose into the glass, I'm picking up more of like a minerally character that I would a lot of times get in like a mixed culture saison or something. but it's not tart. Like, it's not tart at all. It's not infected. It's not sour. There's just something. I'm assuming it's something produced from the yeast. It almost has this minerality to it, which I think adds a really nice layer of complexity to this beer. Shoot. I'm trying to think of what this reminds me of. It's definitely not to the... It doesn't have the oak character, and it's not to the same complexity level. But this kind of reminds me of the OEC oak-aged lager. Lager beer, I think it was called. Because that also had that, like, almost seemed like there might have been something wild going on with it, but not really. I know with them, there's more likelihood that there was, because it was voter aged, and, excuse me, most of the stuff that they do is wild fermented, but this kind of has that same, like, thing on the back end that just, like, makes it a little more complex and a little less clean, but in a good way. It's funny too. It has a sweetness in the mid palate that you're thinking like, oh, it's gonna be like a sweet lager. But then the hops come bursting through, not really much in flavor, but just in bitterness, to cut that sweetness and to make it. It doesn't finish dry, but it doesn't finish sweet either. I would say it's actually just really balanced. So. I think a pour of this was $8. I mean, this is one of the more simple things that they make, so it's going to be on the cheaper end, which is understandable. I feel like it should be that way. Some breweries don't do that, and everything they make is like the same price, which really doesn't make sense. But so for that price, and I just like this is a really nice, refreshing beer. And it's sorry, I saw something in my window. It's definitely starting to get pretty hot down here. I think it was almost 90 degrees today, so you know. It's times like these, if I was out in the yard or hanging out with people outside or whatever, I wouldn't mind having something like this. Now, granted, I would prefer that it was packaged because that'd be a lot easier than getting these growlers. But if any of you guys follow Brew Gentlemen, they did announce that they plan on having their canning line set up and going by the end of the year. So, and I actually do believe that will happen because I know these guys, They take a lot of time to think of what they want to do, and they make sure that it's the right move before they do it. But once they do it, they go full force and they get it done. So I do think they will be on schedule, and I'm really, really excited for that. Once they start getting that going, anytime I go up there, I hope that there's some sort of release or that they just have General Braddock's on the reg. That would be absolutely amazing if I could just get cans of that. So. Yeah, like I was saying, this is definitely a buy for me. I know a lot of people wouldn't necessarily seek this out because it is a pretty simple beer, but is a very, very good one. And just another notch in their belt of the different styles that they can do a really good job with. So I think that's all I got in this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.